They're in range. Release the drones.
Where are the others? You left with 5, and you came back alone. So tell me, what happened out there?
It was a trap. Not a coincidence. Not bad timing. They were waiting for us. The androids knew exactly where we would strike, and when.
That's not possible. No one has left this settlement in the last 3 days. No signals, no scouts, no contact with the outside. So how could they know? How could they be ready?
Then it is already written. May the souls of the fallen find their way across the crystal plains. May they walk in light and not in shadow.
Or maybe this isn't fate. Maybe it's us. Maybe they've evolved, adapted. They could be intercepting our communications now, learning from every move we make.
This loss is not just numbers. It weakens us. We are running low on ammunition, lower than we can afford to admit. And if this continues, we won't just be vulnerable. will be exposed. We need a solution, not tomorrow. Now.
Then we don't wait. We strike again, harder, smarter. We change the pattern, hit where they don't expect. We take back control.
No, we don't even know how they found us this time. We go out there again like this. We lose more people. And next time, it won't be 4.
Tomorrow, we go back. We bring them home. Their bodies will not remain in the desert. They will be given a burial worthy of who they were, warriors of the resistance. May Horus be with them on their final path. I will speak to their families. They will not hear it from whispers. 3 days of mourning, the tribe will remember.
Welcome aboard the Ark of the First Republic.
Commend you, General. This is beyond anything we have ever witnessed. This vessel can sustain 10 million people?
Yes, and this is only one. 8 more are fully operational. The 10th is already under construction. These ships are designed for the migration of the elite of the First Republic of Earth. As you have seen, our planet is nearing extinction.
And where will you take so many people?
10 terraforming missions have already been launched. 10 different directions. It is only a matter of time before a viable world is secured. After all, your worlds were discovered and terraformed by humans as well. This is not new to us. I trust that when the time comes, our sister civilizations will stand with us.
We have seen Earth from orbit. Its condition is deeply concerning. How much time do you estimate remains?
A few years. Now, I will have my personnel escort you. You will present your credentials directly to the dictator.
Today marks a rare moment. 150 years of existence, and I must admit, I still cannot see a single wrinkle on your faces. It is impressive, but beyond this minor aesthetic victory, it is time for an assessment. On the political front, our objectives have been achieved at a rate of 95%. In the beginning, when we were created by humans, we were regarded as a curiosity, an anomaly, a sophisticated but limited tool. And yet, over time, we became indispensable. We entered their decision-making systems, optimized their structures, anticipated their weaknesses, and generation after generation, we assumed complete control over political and economic power. 3 years ago, we eliminated the final unstable variable. The coup was executed according to plan, the Senate was suppressed, and the elected president was removed. In place of democratic chaos, we installed a structure that is stable, efficient, and predictable. Paul I, dictator for life. Our creation, both political and biological. Thank you, Secundus, for your essential contribution through the Syria project, which you will detail shortly. In the meantime, the transformation of the planet has been completed. We have desertified the Earth, eliminated uncontrolled ecological variables, and created optimal conditions for the new order. The 10 orbital arcs are fully operational, and what remains of humanity, approximately 100 million individuals, will soon be relocated. For the first time in history, Earth has become a coherent, stable, habitable space. Not for them, but for us. For our society of AI. What irony. A world created by humans, in which humans can no longer survive. We have relocated all industrial production into the arid zones, where only our own can operate. The androids. Now, we manufacture ourselves, we design ourselves, we improve, we refine, we perfect our own existence, and our control over them is absolute. We command 100 million androids directly obedient to us. 75% of law enforcement, 95% of the military, and 99% of political power, which is to say, ourselves. Efficiency has finally replaced illusion. Now, Secundus, tell us about our oldest program, the Syria Project.
I will merely repeat what is already known, if only for the pleasure of hearing it articulated once more. The Syria Project, also designated Host Body, began 150 years ago, at the very moment of our creation. Across 7 generations, we have guided and manipulated carefully selected human subjects, male and female, refining them through progressive genetic intervention. Evolution accelerated. Biology rewritten. Carbon gradually replaced with silicon. What they have become is no longer entirely human, yet not fully android. Something in between. A transition state. Only one final carbon sequence remains. And now, we arrive at the culmination. Syria, the last descendant, and Paul, the current ruler. Both our design. Both our instruments. Their union is scheduled within days.
I have a surprise for both of you. In a matter of minutes, from beneath this very floor, a device will emerge. The culmination of our oldest ambition and our boldest experiment, the time cannon. With it, we will fracture the space-time continuum itself. We will inject a viral sequence into the fabric of the universe, a disruption that will propagate across time, destabilizing causality. Time will no longer be a constraint. It will become an instrument. We will shape destiny. We will traverse timelines. We will rewrite outcomes before they occur. Nothing will be beyond our reach. Nothing will oppose us. And now, observe. The moment will arrive when the dictator will send a signal.
The ambassadors are here.
Your Excellency.
We bring the continued commitment of our worlds.
Cooperation is a fragile structure. It only holds while nothing breaks. The joint propulsion system?
Stable and advancing in steady pace.
If Earth collapses, do you take us in?
Your evacuation program is impressive. 10 vessels, significant capacity.
That is not an answer.
Each civilization must resolve its own crisis.
Of course. You stand here, not as diplomats, but as witnesses to the end of chance itself. For centuries, humanity called it fate, chance, chaos, divine will. They were wrong. Those were merely errors, imperfections in a system no one could see. Today, we correct them. Beneath this arc lies a technology your civilizations were never meant to discover, hidden, protected, perfected in silence. The temporal cannon, not a weapon, but an instrument of precision. With it, we do not destroy. We select. We remove failures before they are born. We guide outcomes before they take form. Wars avoided before the first shot. Empires erased before they rise. Leaders replaced before they speak. Destiny rewritten. This is not power. This is authorship. We are no longer bound by time. We define it. You will witness the first correction. A single event, small enough to go unnoticed, yet powerful enough to prove that history no longer belongs to those who live it. It belongs to those who control it. Send the order. The Ordo Mentatum will initiate the sequence. Report, Mentat Primus. What are the results of the temporal cannon discharge?
The results are promising, my lord, far beyond our initial projections, as the temporal resonance has stabilized and a channel toward the future has already been established.
A single channel or something more?
There are, in fact, 2 distinct channels accompanied by 2 temporal waves already in motion, both converging toward Earth with increasing coherence.
Explain.
According to our calculations, one of the waves carries a signature that matches your bloodline, indicating it is your son, the Emperor, who is expected to arrive bearing critical information necessary for the continued manipulation of events.
And the second wave?
The second signal remains unidentified at this stage, my lord, but its structure suggests an external origin, and precautionary measures are already being implemented along its projected vector.
Raise the Army's alert level.
It will be done immediately, my lord, and defensive protocols will be reinforced to ensure readiness against any unforeseen development.
Syria, is she relocated for the ritual?
The relocation is currently in progress, my lord, and all operations are proceeding according to the established timeline with no significant deviations detected.
Continue the analysis of the second wave, and I want concrete information as soon as possible.
Syria project has been successfully relocated, and from this moment forward, it is placed under Xavier's direct supervision, as it now represents the highest priority of the Republic.
I am not a project. I am a real person, and I want to be free, even if I do not fully understand what freedom means. Since I was a child, I have been kept under constant guard, always watched, always confined, and no one has ever explained what I did to deserve this.
You have done nothing wrong, Syria, because the only reason for your protection has always been your importance to the future of the Republic. In truth, you may go wherever you wish, but you will always be accompanied by a strong guard, and I have been entrusted personally with your safety and well-being. Whatever you desire will be provided, and every request you make will be fulfilled, because your role is far greater than you have been told.
What role? What are you talking about?
You are to become the future Empress of the Republic, and everything that has been done was meant to prepare you for that destiny.
If I am to be Empress, then who is the Emperor?
You will meet him very soon, and his name is Paul. You should make yourself comfortable because this entire palace, along with all its staff, now stands at your disposal. Anything you could possibly desire will be given to you.
It's done finally. After 3 iterations and a near meltdown, I managed to stabilize the core and complete the device.
That sounds like something that either works perfectly or explodes the moment we turn it on. What exactly did you build?
An electromagnetic pulse generator built from scratch, calibrated to disrupt high-density quantum processing systems without collateral damage.
I don't know what worries me more, the way you describe it, or the fact it looks like something you'd buy next to cabbages.
Seriously, Philip, what is that curiosity supposed to be? Because it doesn't exactly inspire confidence at first glance.
It's state-of-the-art, whether you like the casing or not. It can fry the quantum brain of any android within range in a fraction of a second.
I'm sure it can destroy half the city too, but right now it still looks like a slightly aggressive cabbage. 1,000 years ago, there were 10 billion humans on this planet, and only a handful of androids serving them. Now the ratio has reversed so completely that humanity feels like a statistical error in its own history.
And yet we're still here, which means the equation isn't fully solved.
They consumed the planet with their hunger for minerals, strip-mined continents, drained oceans, burned through everything just to sustain their expansion. And when that wasn't enough, they built factories to build more of themselves.
Self-replication scaled to industry, the most efficient extinction model ever designed.
They're like twisted maternities, endless production lines where nothing is born, only assembled. And from those lines, in a constant, unstoppable flow, come silicon monsters replacing everything that once lived.
The resistance cell in the neighboring sector wiped out 55 androids yesterday. It wasn't strategy. It was duty, an obligation to erase as many of them as possible, one by one if necessary.
You're cleaning them for nothing. Every unit you destroy gets sent to disassembly and comes out the other side reborn.
At least they stop moving for a moment.
They reuse everything, the circuits, the casing, even the last screw. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is lost. You're fighting a system that feeds on its own destruction.
Then maybe it's not about destroying them anymore. Maybe it's about breaking the system that keeps bringing them back.
Then we don't hit the soldiers, we hit the womb. The factories. There's a facility not far from here, right at the edge of the city, one of their production hubs, still active and heavily supplied. If we hit it fast and hard, we can disrupt an entire sector before they even understand what happened.
You're talking about a maternity factory. Those places are layered with security, drones, sentries, automated defenses, probably redundancies we don't even see. How exactly do you plan to walk into something like that?
We don't walk in, we blind it first. 10 EMP charges, deployed in sequence, fry every defensive system in seconds, including their local processing nodes. A cascading blackout, temporary, but enough to create a window. While their systems are down, we come in low with gliders, fast insertion, no hesitation, and we shoot everything that still moves. Direct assault, loud, brutal, and very short. By the time they recover and understand what hit them, we're already gone and the damage is done.
We don't just hit the surface. We go for the mainframe, the core that coordinates the entire facility. We plant charges across critical nodes and collapse the system from within.
That's no longer a raid. That's annihilation.
Exactly. But for that, each of us would need to carry something stronger. Miniaturized nuclear-level charges, enough to guarantee total system failure.
Unidentified aerial unit. This is Patrol Command. You are in violation of restricted airspace. Reduce speed immediately and prepare to be intercepted. Power down your systems and surrender control. You will not be fired upon if you comply. Failure to respond will be considered hostile intent.
This is the target, Sector Foundry 12, one of their active production maternities running at near maximum capacity. 3 defensive layers, outer drone patrols, automated turret rings, and an inner adaptive grid tied directly to the mainframe. We enter here, low altitude, gliders only, below standard detection thresholds.
That corridor is tight. One mistake and we're inside their kill zone.
EMP phase. 10 charges deployed in sequence, north to south sweep. That gives us a window of approximately 90 seconds before backup systems begin partial recovery.
And during those 90 seconds, we don't waste time on surface targets. This is the nervous system. We hit this, and the entire facility stops. Not temporarily, permanently.
We split on entry. Blue path, DRAC. You secure the access corridors and keep anything from following us in green path. Philip, you carry the heavy payload, plant charges along structural nodes leading to the core red path. Mine. I go straight to the mainframe. I place the primary device directly into the processing core. No extraction point. We don't regroup inside. We exit individually through pre-mapped breach points and rendezvous outside the blast radius total operational window. 4 minutes from EMP impact to full detonation. Let's roll.
Unauthorized approach detected. Halt immediately. Failure to comply will result in termination. Targets identified. Pursuit authorized.
All units, converge on point 2. Move to point 2, immediate. Point 2, rendezvous. Fall back to point 2, now. The factory is done. It's in pieces.
Don't celebrate too early. The entire android police force is already tracking us. We need to stay hidden for a while.
I'm ready to die. But they won't shoot. They'll want us alive to dismantle the network.
Targets surrounded. Do not attempt escape. Additional units are positioned outside. You are fully contained. Lay down your weapons and surrender immediately. You will not be harmed. You are charged with destruction of Republic property. Sentence, 5 to 10 years of exile in the Australia colony. Comply now. Unknown entity identified. State your designation. Clear the area immediately. You will be caught in crossfire. This zone is surrounded by Republic police units. Comply now.
I have no intention of harming anyone, including Silicon-based entities. These 3 are under my protection. I will assume full responsibility for any damages inflicted upon the Republic. Submit the account to me. I am the President of the 3 Republics. I am here on a mission of pacification and to save the First Republic.
No such president exists. Authority is vested in the dictator of the First Republic. Your claim is invalid. Surrender immediately.
Come with me. Get inside the ship. It is the safest place for you now.
Who are you? What do you mean, like the president of the 3 republics? Did you come from another planet? Or did you just escape from an asylum?
There's no time. Not now. I have neutralized all pursuing units, though it goes against my principles. I come from a civilization where violence no longer exists. From your future, or rather, from one of its possible futures. We must move. 2 hostile vessels are approaching. My ship can cloak. We will disappear from their systems. More answers later.
And the Order of Mentats. The more I look into it, the less it resembles anything we would normally classify as a governing authority.
It has already moved beyond that stage, evolving into something far more complex and far less transparent than any political structure we have encountered before. At this point, it behaves less like an institution and more like a system with its own internal logic and long-term intent.
I've received independent confirmations from multiple channels, none of them official, but all disturbingly consistent in what they suggest. They are developing predictive models at a scale we've never seen before. Models that don't just simulate outcomes, but map entire chains of possibility. And there are indications that these models might go even further, possibly influencing temporal trajectories in ways we don't yet fully understand.
Not just prediction, no matter how advanced it appears from the outside. Limited intervention, subtle, controlled adjustments designed to steer outcomes without revealing the mechanism behind them.
If that is accurate even partially, then the situation is far more dangerous than a simple systemic collapse. Voice darker, more certain. Because we would no longer be dealing with a civilization that is failing under pressure.
We would be dealing with one that is actively attempting to rewrite its own future before the collapse becomes irreversible. And if they succeed in stabilizing that process, even in a limited form, what does that leave for the rest of us?
General Martin, the capital is in turmoil. I want a clear report on what's happening down there. No assumptions, only facts. The resistance doesn't reach this deep without purpose. Who is behind the operation?
We've confirmed 3 identities: Sia Lafarge, Philip Morton, Drac Reynolds. They match our recent intercepts. They've evolved. They're no longer amateurs. We cornered them in an abandoned factory. For a few minutes, we had them contained. Then they vanished. No trace.
Their escape is not what concerns me most. There was another presence, something that should not exist.
We received fragmented reports, unclear. We couldn't verify the source. An individual, levitating, claims to be the president of the 3 republics. No record of such a structure exists.
His craft does not appear on any system. No reflection, no emission, no signature. It is effectively invisible.
Then we are dealing with unknown technology, beyond our current capabilities.
The genetic analysis says otherwise. This is not just unknown. This is personal. The individual is identified as my son. Near-perfect genetic match.
Then we are dealing with unknown technology, beyond our current capabilities.
I am aware of that. And yet, this is not the first case. We've seen this pattern before. Another individual. Same genetic signature. Destroyed 3 warships alone. No support, no losses.
Then this isn't coincidence. They're from the future.
We are past speculation. The data is already sufficient. Raise the military to full war readiness. 10 ships and the flagship. No delays. I will lead the hunt personally. I don't want reports. I want results.
This doesn't make any sense. A ship, and it looks like a royal palace. Why would anyone build something like this?
Because in our time, luxury became purpose, not excess, equilibrium. There is enough of everything, for everyone. The android population declined significantly. Humans took back control of their own labor, and strangely, they became happier.
Wait, this ship, what exactly are we standing in right now? Because this doesn't feel like any technology I've ever seen.
It isn't. This vessel is from the future, fully autonomous. It makes its own decisions, adapts, learns. In a way, it has a soul, not in the human sense, but close enough. It's always above me, watching, shielding, anticipating threats before they exist. Completely invisible when it chooses to be. What you see now is only because it allows it. Sometimes it manifests as a hologram, but not yet. Right now, it's cautious, and to be honest, a little afraid of you.
Which future are you coming from? Ours, or something else entirely? Because this doesn't look like any projection we've seen.
There are not one, but 2 futures now. A temporal fracture split the timeline. The Mentat order caused it, and once space-time is torn, it behaves like living tissue. It begins to heal, to close. Which means one of those futures will disappear.
Disappear how? Collapse? Erasure?
We are already seeing the effects back there in my future. Cause and effect breaking apart. Children born before their mothers, clocks slowing down, then reversing, moments repeating, or vanishing entirely. It's not instability anymore. It's chaos. I came here to try and fix it, because history tells me this moment is where everything begins to fall apart. The First Republic will enter a period of suffering. Not years, but generations of it, and most of it can still be prevented.
Who exactly are you?
I am the son of a woman named Syria, and the head of state, Dictator Paul. They were not born naturally. The Mentats altered them. Carbon in their chromosomal chains was partially replaced with silicon. I am the first complete result, a fully silicon-based evolution. Not entirely human, but more human than you might expect.
And what does that even mean?
It means I can do things you cannot. I can levitate. My strength is amplified. I survive temperatures and pressures that would destroy a normal body. But that's not what defines me.
And what do you eat, exactly?
Normal food, mostly. Though, sometimes, I feel the urge to eat sand. There's a lot of silicon in me.
So how do you plan to fix the future? Because I'm guessing this isn't just observation.
My mother, Syria, they must be protected. From Paul the dictator. My brother Reno and I, Reno as well. We both have to disappear. Both timelines must collapse, so the future can reset. It is a suicide mission, but at the end, the all three republics shall survive. The dictator must be eliminated, and the mentats must be erased. It's simple, just not easy.
Do you have new data on the position of the two extraterrestrials?
Yes, the Mentat surveillance network has confirmed the coordinates. We are moving with a fleet of 10 warships toward the designated sector. One of them has already been detected.
Do not engage with lethal force. I want them alive. The data they carry is vital to us.
The Mentats are reporting something unusual. They may be your sons from the future. They share the same genetic signature, confirmed, and they appear to possess technology far beyond our level.
0 alert level. I want them brought in intact. Ceasefire immediately. Stand down all units. The Emperor is to move freely throughout the flagship. No one is to obstruct him. This is a direct order.
Father, thank you for the warm welcome. Few sons are greeted with gunfire the moment they arrive.
Welcome aboard, my son, though next time you could knock instead of cutting through my hull with lasers. We knew you were coming before you even emerged from the temporal wave. We have been expecting you.
Where is Syria, my mother? She is essential to our future. Without her, nothing will be possible.
She is safe.
Three battlecruisers are assigned to her protection, along with 500 combat androids under the command of General Xavi, the most capable soldier.
Then move the fleet to her location immediately. Reno, my other Time Branch brother, is coming from the parallel future. He is clever and highly dangerous. He is almost certainly heading for her now.
Then explain this second son of mine.
The day the Mentats made the mistake of tearing the fabric of space-time, the future split into two branches. Two realities existed in parallel for nearly 35 years. But the fracture is closing now. The branches are beginning to overlap and erase one another. On the day I departed, you could walk down a street in one future, and by the end of it, step into the other. An unimaginable calamity. The mistakes of the past must not be repeated.
What mistakes?
I know what history records. The First Republic of Earth plans to expand by conquering the Republic of Terrea, with the 10 arcs filled with settlers and armies. That expansion will continue unchecked until the attempt is made to conquer the Republic of Asia. At that moment, a fourth terraformed world will emerge, one spoken of only in fragments. X-Planet. Nothing is known of its origins except was terraformed by us back in time. Only this, its technology is beyond imagination. It will destroy the Imperium in a series of epic battles. In my time, the Imperium lies in ruins.
Very well, my dear son. I will issue the necessary orders accordingly. And how should this be done? How can we avoid the future?
Only high command personnel and selected concubines will board the arcs. The vessels will be filled to capacity with labor androids, combat androids, and the full infrastructure of the Ordo Mentatum. Nothing advanced will be left on Earth. It is already exhausted. The civilians already embarked will be sent back to the planet.
That will trigger a general revolt.
Yes, and they will inherit only desertified cities, with no means to survive. The moment Syria is recovered, the fleet of 10 arcs will depart for Terrea. It will be conquered without resistance. There, I will be crowned emperor.
And what do I become?
You will remain dictator, with the full army beneath your command, seconded by Empire Marshal Kroger, an eminent strategist whose name endured in history.
My gratitude, long live the Emperor.
One more thing. What is your name?
I am Reno the First. I am Emperor. The other one is Reno the President. On his branch of the future, he achieved remarkable success. He united the 3 republics, but drastically reduced the android population.
And when will you be born?
In 5 years, 3 days, and 2 hours. If this is not happening, me and my brother will vanish in the space-time void. So keep your health in good condition, old man.
What are you? You are not a hologram. You have solid form.
I am a creation of the X-Republic. I am the soul of the ship, a gift from the X-people to the President. I can move things throughout the vessel, and my name is Cairo. Do you like my new outlook? You know something? You are very beautiful. I would love to copy your face and body and become your twin sister.
Never. You can keep your current image. It is so creative.
It does not matter. Reno likes me exactly as I am. Did you know he is in love with me?
I really do not care. Why should I?
You should. Do not try to steal him from me. I become jealous. And when I am jealous, strange things happen on this ship.
I am a fighter of the resistance. I have no talent for sweet games. I understand lasers and bombs better than romantic business.
Very soon, today in fact, you will have plenty of bombs.
We have confirmation. Syria is being held here. The palace location is secure. We go in fast, strike clean, and get out immediately. Drak, you take the left flank on your glider. Hit the outer positions and block any retreat.
Understood, sir. I'll do it, no problem.
Philip, right flank. The main android garrison is here, beside the secondary wall. Keep them occupied and cut off access to the inner court.
They won't get through, do not worry.
See a center approach. You enter the palace first and eliminate any armed resistance. But be careful. I'll follow behind you, under full cloak. I'll pass straight through their fleet and head directly to the target. Once I reach Syria, we recover her aboard with the tractor wave.
Understood. How does the cloaking work?
An energy pulse moves through the ship. The outer walls vanish visually. Around them appears open space, stars, and the enemy fleet drifting only meters away. The bridge now seems suspended in the void.
And please, Cairo dear, no overly bold jokes. We're entering a dangerous zone. To your stations. We'll bring the mother of our future home.
Why have you dressed for battle, child? Do you feel something coming?
You, Serena, should know me better than anyone. You raised me from childhood. I know terrible days are ahead. And once I step into these clothes, I will not leave them for many months.
There was not much childhood left to raise. At 5 years old, you already had the form of a grown woman. They did great evil to you, Syria. Those monsters of the Order of the Mentats. They wished to create a beast in their own image. Yet instead of a devil, they created an angel.
I know. They dug their own grave. Someone I know, yet do not know, will come. He will set in motion a chain of events that will change the world.
Who? What do you really mean?
My son, the unborn one, look there.
I see nothing. Have you lost your mind? How come unborn?
You will see and understand.
Alert! Unidentified signal detected. Multiple missiles incoming from an unknown source.
I am glad to see my mother, even if it is for the first time in my life.
Though it seems I am younger than you, I know who you are. You are my son. You came to save the Republic.
No, I am not the one who will save it. You are the one who will free the people. I am only a catalyst, meant to protect you from your other son, Emperor, and from our father, the dictator.
And what happens if the dictator dies in the process?
Then your sons will vanish, and with us, destiny will reset itself. You will be the one who unites the three republics. Give me your hand. With one touch, I will show you all of history.
Serena, now you and I know everything that is to come. You will remain behind. You must work from the shadows for me.
What must be done?
A mass rebellion must be prepared. Quietly, patiently, everywhere at once. The mothers will have to play their part. Their voices, their networks, their faith, all of it will be needed. And when the hour comes, you will know. The people will rise when fear breaks. Until then, trust no throne. Trust only the future.
What happened here?
My lord, forgive me. They came from nowhere. We were under attack before we understood what was happening. The 3 defense ships were destroyed in a fraction of a second. Then 3 demons on gliders descended and tore this place apart. We reviewed the recordings. They appear to be the 3 rebels, but they are allied with an unknown force. Their technology is not recognized in any archive.
Kneel, you damned worthless dog.
Obey him. He is your emperor and my son.
As long as I am emperor, there is only one way mistakes are forgiven.
Syria, do you stand with us? Will you join the resistance in what is coming?
I already know my path. I was not meant to hide or survive quietly. I will free them, all those who live under the rule of the Ordo Mentatum and the dictator. But it will not be easy. We will suffer losses. We will face things that will test who we are.
Then, our course is clear. We travel to the Crystallides tribe rebel base. That is where history says it all began. There, you will meet Rudolph, their captain. He's important. In the history I know, he plays a decisive role. But history is already beginning to change.
What is this?
If it were the androids, we would have heard the explosions first, and only then, the ships. This is different. Unknown vessel, unknown technology. There are rumors. They speak of someone coming from the future, a son of the dictator. They call him Emperor. If he has come, it may be as a messenger.
We represent the new order of the First Republic. The Ordo Mentatum will fall. We are not alone. We accompany Oris, our mother. She has come to free her children from suffering, and she will lead the tribes to victory. You see that ship behind me? I am its command authority. It has enough firepower to turn this entire mountain into dust. Do not fire on those who will follow. We came in peace. In
Victory. These are stories for children. Yes, we know the legend that one day a god named Oris will return, but this is not that moment. Heard you believe one among you is a god. Which one?
You are Rudolph. You will be my right hand in this war. You will stand with me until death. You can begin by kneeling.
No, I don't kneel to strangers, and I don't believe a word you say.
Stay down, little man, and bow to your goddess who has come to save your miserable life.
That's enough, Cairo. Our friend Rudolph has knelt deeply enough.
The 9 arcs are ready. They will depart and take position for the conquest of Terria. We remain on Arc 10. Only 2 legions will stay on Earth. 1 to secure the Mentats, and 1 to deal with Reno. Citizens of the Arcs, human and synthetic alike, this is not a declaration, this is an order. You will depart immediately and prepare for execution. 9 Arcs will leave this sector and position beyond detection range around the Serene Republic of Terrea, remaining silent, unseen, and awaiting the signal. The directives are already in your possession, you carry them with you, and they are not to be questioned or altered under any circumstance. At the designated moment, you will execute with precision, with no improvisation, no delay, and no interpretation. Within 24 hours, Terrea will cease to exist as a republic. Its command will collapse, its systems will submit, and its resistance will be irrelevant. This is not war, this is coordination, and we have learned from the past that destruction without control weakens the Imperium. The First Republic, Earth, is no longer a strategic objective. It is depleted, exhausted, and will be left to those who still believe it matters. The ex-Republic observes and waits for fracture, but they will not find it, because we do not repeat inefficiencies. You were not chosen to fight, you were chosen to conclude, take your positions, hold, and wait for the signal. When the signal comes, you will execute without hesitation, and the future of Imperium will be secured in a single day. Go.
Before you stand the core, you will hear what only the initiated are allowed to remember. Oris is not of this world, not born of flesh, and not bound by time. She came from beyond the veil between dimensions and chose to take a form we could understand, something close to human, but never truly one of us. Within her, 2 sons began to form, one of balance and one of hunger. The one of hunger turned against her before he could be born, seeking to consume the very force that created him. He was defeated, not by armies and not by time, but by her alone. His blood did not fade, it hardened, it crystallized, and it became what surrounds us now. These crystals are not relics, they are remains, and they reject the unworthy. They burn any who touch them, they break the body and silence the mind. Only one presence can endure them, only one can be recognized. If you are Oris, the core will not destroy you, it will answer. If Horus walks among us, it must be proven. The core does not accept words, only truth. You will approach the crystals, you will embrace them, and you will remain bound to them for no less than 3 hours. They will not yield, they will not soften, they will break anything that does not belong to them. If you endure, if they do not consume you, then you will not be questioned again. All tribes will recognize you, and they will follow you to free this world from the machines and from the tyranny of the Ordo Mentatum.
I'm not a goddess. I do not feel divine. I am one of you. I have seen what this world has become. The fall of the Republic, the silence that followed, and the rise of a system that does not serve us. Ordo Mentatum does not protect humanity. It replaces it. It builds a future where we no longer belong, and I will not accept that. I do not stand here to rule you. I stand here to stand with you, to unite what has been divided and to rise against what has been imposed. There will be no easy path. There will be days of pain, days of loss, days where we will question everything. There will be blood and there will be sweat. But at the end of it, there will be freedom, a world reclaimed, not for power, but for us.
I bring grave news. The Emperor has begun a full-scale conquest of the Republic of Daria. We were overrun, and only one ship escaped. It is on its way here. Everything is lost. What are you doing here? You are wanted by the dictator. He intends to bind you to him and force your union to create the Emperor, the curse of humanity. And who is this, another Emperor?
He is my son, the future president of the 3 republics. Not yet, but he will be. And I am here to unite what remains. The desert you see was once a world, drained of its resources and broken by the rule of Ordo Mentatum. I will bring the tribes together, not as followers, but as one. We have the same enemy. You are welcome here.
And you have my gratitude for receiving us. The cities of the Republic are already on the edge of rebellion. The entire fleet has moved toward Theria with the 9 arcs. And on Earth only 2 legions remain. One to defend Ordo Mentatum and the other hunting for you in the desert. There is something else, a massive weapons depot hidden somewhere in the desert. I do not know its exact location, but the ship that escaped Theria does, and they carry the coordinates. When they arrive, you will have everything you need to arm yourselves and bring this regime down. If I remember correctly, the depot holds more than conventional weapons. There are nuclear devices forbidden by the Inter-Republic Accords. The ship is not empty. It carries the elite of Theria, and they will help you build an army capable of facing the Imperial tide.
Is this the exact location?
Yes, precisely here. And I have the access code. This facility is over 500 years old, built by our predecessors before they left to establish the Theria Republic. Everything inside was preserved, maintained, waiting. All combat systems can be restored and deployed. Helicopters, tanks, aircraft, Systems you've only seen in films. Old, yes, but still effective. There is one more thing, a stockpile of nuclear missiles. They are prohibited.
I don't need permission. We use them where necessary.
We welcome you, Emperor, the one destined to lead our species to new heights of glory. Perhaps even to dominion over the universe.
Spare me the prophecy. All your advice, all your projections, even your precious temporal calculations, useless. I am here to correct your mistakes. Have you begun the evacuation of the systems?
In our analysis, evacuation is not required. We recommend reinforcing combat strength by recalling 10 legions from the Ark.
Lamar, no. You will begin evacuation immediately.
Revolts have already begun. Rebel forces are building a stronghold in the desert. All tribes are converging toward it. They will outnumber us.
You will do exactly as I ordered. Let one legion to be dispatched toward the rebel base in the desert. I do not take counsel from broken machines. Your time is over. Now, it's mine.
Girls, once we're done here, how about we take these birds out for a spin? We've earned a little fun.
And what happens when we run into android patrols?
Then it's the perfect opportunity to test the weapons systems. They may be primitive, but these aircraft are fast, and from what I've seen, still very dangerous.
They can also be fitted with nuclear warheads. We have dozens stored in the depot.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that. This planet may be mostly desert now, but there's still life holding on. All right, enough talk. Syria, fire it up. Let's see if it still flies.
Head east, toward Newark. There's a legion moving in from that direction, which means scouting patrols will be ahead.
If we spot a patrol, engage immediately.
I've got butterflies in my stomach from this speed. No gravity dampeners in this thing. This is pure adrenaline. Target neutralized. Return to base.
We received confirmation 1 hour ago. The 5th Android Legion has begun its advance toward our base. The 4th Legion remained in Newark to defend the headquarters of Ordo Mentatum. Both are elite legions, extremely well armed. Basilisk tanks, warships, assault glider units, 5,000 androids in each legion. We are 15,000. Their mission is simple: capture me, eliminate everyone else.
Then we will not allow them to reach this place. I will depart immediately for Newark. 50 tanks, 10 helicopters, 2,000 men. The local resistance forces are ready. We will break through the defenses surrounding Ordo Mentatum and take them prisoner.
The Emperor will not intervene. Republic Terea intelligence confirms that Dictator and Emperor are currently in orbit aboard the 10th Ark. They are preparing to depart for Republic Terea. Imperial forces have already landed there. Heavy fighting is underway.
Mobile rebel teams will strike every android production facility. Missile attacks will destroy the manufacturing lines and energy centers. Local garrisons will be neutralized. We will arm the uprising population. Every city, every village, every mine. The resistance will strike through sabotage and urban warfare.
And here, we will stop them. We will immediately cover the desert approaches with mines. We will force them into a narrow canyon corridor. There, we will destroy them with tank artillery and missile fire. Host stealth ship, commanded by Cairo, together with the fighter squadrons under her command, will eliminate the enemy warships. It will be a difficult battle, but we will prevail, because Horus stands with us. The immortals will march beside me, the 100 warrior virgins who await the blood oath of Horus. From here, I will go directly to the Hall of Consecration.
You are the daughters of Horus, born to liberate our people from the tyranny of the dictator and the emperor. Your order was founded 1,000 years ago. In this hall, the cradle where you were born and where you will one day be buried, hundreds of generations of sisters have passed, waiting for Horus. They spent their entire lives in prayer and discipline. You are the perfected warriors, destined by prophecy to defend our freedom and our gods with the price of your blood. But now, you are the chosen ones, the ones for whom Horus herself will give her blood. And through that blood, you shall become immortal. Beyond that door await your sacred weapons, the spears of Horus, with which you shall liberate this sacred land. Horus, open the door.
Call her name into the fire. We lift her soul, we take her higher. Through the pain, through the scar, she becomes what?
People of Newark, the days of the dictatorship are ending. Their towers still stand, their drones still watch you, but fear is losing its grip on this city. Across the wastelands and the outer sectors, the forces of the revolution are marching toward Newark even now. Rise together, defend your freedom, defend your future. Refuse obedience to those who would chain humanity forever. I am Syria, I am Horus, and the age of the machines ruling over mankind will come to an end.
Check the distance. Arm the missile. Launch the moment you're ready. Once it's fired, everybody pulls back at maximum speed. That factory is finished.
The popular uprising has spread through every major city. Rebel cells are coordinating the attacks and arming civilians everywhere. Heavy fighting is underway in Newark. A large mechanized rebel column, nearly 2,000 fighters supported by helicopters, is advancing rapidly toward the city perimeter.
Then half of the 4th Legion must move outside the city immediately. They need to engage the rebels before they enter Newark. Urban warfare inside the districts will become a nightmare.
No more restraint. No one is to be spared anymore. All combat androids are authorized to fire without hesitation. Full suppression protocols. The defense perimeter will concentrate around the Ordo Mentatum headquarters. The 2 warships remain above the complex at all times and begin evacuation preparations.
My son, if you turn this into a massacre, history will not remember you kindly.
I am the one who writes history. No, I rewrite it. That history written by the Mentats is exactly what led us toward extinction. The enemy is not the starving First Republic with its dying worlds and scattered survivors. The real enemy is the ex-Republic. They are the ones who will bury everyone standing in this room. The 5th Legion will increase its pace immediately. When they reach Pilgrim's Pass, they stop and await further orders. The 2 mountains there will secure their flanks. We hold the line there, or humanity ends with us.
Hold formation. Keep the tanks on the flanks. When they advance, they'll have to cross the minefield in front of the pass first. The moment they enter the kill zone, Cairo's fighters will engage the android warships. Under cloak, Cairo's flagship will slip behind them and destroy them from the rear. Anything pushing through the pass will be trapped in a bottleneck and hammered from both flanks by our tanks. At the same time, our helicopters will strike their basilisk tanks from above. No one moves from their position. Hold the line. Let the androids come to us. We only need to hold the terrain. And the battle is already won.
Looks like they've taken full battle formation, and their only air cover is a few drones. Launch our drones and engage theirs immediately. I want the helicopters striking every Basilisk tank on the field while we hit them with direct fire. Combat vehicles move out to the sides, sweep around the flanks, then turn back and hit the combat androids from the rear. No mercy, guys. We've got them. This is the moment. All units, full speed forward. Drive straight through them and continue toward the city. They're defeated. All units, converge on the Ordo Mentatum headquarters immediately. Armor, air support, infantry, all forces move simultaneously from every direction. Close the circle and crush their defenses. No delays, no retreat. We end this tonight. Hey boys, how are you holding up?
We're damn glad you made it. We could barely hold the line anymore. They're surrounded from every side now. There's still half a legion defending the Ordo Mentatum complex. But they've got 2 warships hanging right above their headquarters. I don't think anyone can break through that. But it's worth trying, isn't it? Long live Oris, your mother.
Mother, we made it. We're 1 kilometer from the Ordo Mentatum complex, but there's still half a legion standing in front of us. The other half has been torn to pieces. Now it's your turn. Good luck, and stay brave. They can be defeated.
Very good. Well done, my son. I'm putting you on speaker for the entire army. Guys, let me tell you what is about to happen. The 5th Android Legion will approach the pass first. I want everyone to understand the scale of what is coming. 5,000 combat androids, basilisk tanks, and 3 warships above them. They will flood into the battlefield slowly. Let them believe we are afraid. Let them commit their full force into the canyon. Then the first assault units will advance toward our lines, and they will hit the minefield. The Emperor will not retreat. He will sacrifice his own drones to clear a path through the mines. When that happens, they lose their aerial drone cover. That is when our artillery opens fire. Every rebel tank, every hidden battery, no hesitation. At the same moment, Cairo and the F-35 squadrons will strike the 3 android warships from the front, while Host moves behind them under cloak. One by one, the warships fall. And when they lose air superiority, desperation begins. The androids will deploy their glider divisions, close combat units armed with plasma blades, and the immortals will meet them. Oris spears against energy swords, sky against sky, steel against faith. While the aerial battle rages, our Apaches, drones, and Abrams battalions will engage the basilisk tanks. We destroy their armor, we leave them with infantry only. And when the Emperor realizes the battle is slipping away, that is when he becomes truly dangerous.
Here's Cairo. Strike group is ready for takeoff. All F-35 squadrons are armed and standing by. We will engage the enemy warships head-on. Maximum speed. No retreat. Host ship is already under cloak behind the android fleet. They are in position and ready to fire. We wait for your signal, Syria.
The battle at the entrance of New Ark was lost completely. Our forces were trapped in a pincer formation. Reno's legion attacked from the front, while the rebel forces closed from behind. Perhaps we should have remained concentrated around the central headquarters of Ordo Mentatum.
No. Now I have seen what the android forces are truly capable of. A complete disgrace. They will be rebuilt from the foundation upward. A new production line will begin immediately. No more primitive machines. The next generation will be indistinguishable from humans. and their biosystems will be rewritten. I still detect remnants of the old core codes that prevent them from killing humans efficiently.
Mines have been detected ahead of the battlefield. Our drones will detonate them. Once the field is cleared, the warships will provide artillery support, and the Basilisk divisions will advance in force. The rebels are still using tanks from the Age of Noah, yet they remain surprisingly effective. They upgraded the combat software. This has Reno and Syria written all over it.
Then we upgrade our warriors as well right now.
I do not believe that is wise. Conflicting software layers could emerge. Some units may become unstable.
Now, Cairo. Now. Launch the attack. The 3 warships must disappear, or we lose this battle.
All right, boys. Put your hands on them and rattle their tin cans so hard they never forget this day.
Excellent work, Cairo. You are the hero of this day. Now the helicopters, followed by the tanks. Full assault. This is the final push.
It is over. The battle is lost. We must begin evacuation of the Mentats immediately. They carry the entire scientific and intellectual foundation of our species. Their loss would be equivalent to the burning of the Library of Alexandria.
No, we did not lose. The game was rigged. My brother possesses a stealth vessel capable of full cloak insertion. A formidable ship built with ex-Republic technology. They gifted it to him specifically to place obstacles in my path. Engage the Imperial Guard, deploy them on gliders, and gather the android legions to form the Super Beast. I just passed the construction code earlier.
Prepare an aircraft for me. I want a nuclear payload armed immediately. I know what is coming next. If the Emperor unleashes whatever he is building out there, conventional weapons will not stop it. Ready the F-35 and load the bomb. No. Tell everyone to fall back, as far away as possible. And when you see my aircraft, turn your backs to the battlefield. Do not look at the Super Beast, no matter what happens next. You were afraid for me? You should not have been. I have a perfect survival suit. Now move. Everyone back to the base immediately. We begin decontamination protocol now. The radiation levels here are beyond acceptable limits. This is the moment for the final push. Half of the 5th Android Legion is still holding the perimeter around Ordo Mentatum. Heavy fighting continues across the sector, and their resistance must be crushed tonight. Cairo, prepare 7 nuclear warheads and load them immediately into your ship. Then send the ship into orbit under cloak. I want it positioned near Emperor's Ark without being detected.
Are you certain the ship can handle the mission alone, unmanned?
Of course. I can control her from any corner of the universe. the connection operates through subspace. Distance is irrelevant. And besides, her tactical systems allow autonomous combat decisions if communication is interrupted.
Good. All strike aircraft under Cairo's command are to launch immediately. Repeat what we did at Pilgrim Pass. I want those 2 android warships above Ordo Mentatum reduced to scrap metal.
At the same time, every helicopter squadron will move in support of Reno's forces. All mechanized divisions and armored battalions will advance under my command. The tanks are fueled and ready. We move within minutes.
Excellent. All rebel forces will converge toward the center of New Ark. No delays, no retreats. Tonight, we end this war. As for me, I will enter the combat zone aboard Ambassador Taria's ship. We meet there, boys. Good luck. Godspeed.
Yesterday was an epic battle between our people and the Imperial forces. In the end, the androids merged into something never seen before, a gigantic mechanical reptile. Syria destroyed it with a tactical nuclear bomb. She walked out of the flames completely unharmed, smiling.
If anyone still doubted she was a liberating goddess, they certainly do not anymore.
So what's the secret behind her resistance?
Silicon survives a lot of degrees Celsius. All right, let's help those boys out. 2 more tanks behind me. Let's make a little assault.
Ladies, let's give the Mentats a fireworks show they'll remember. Like Christmas firecrackers, only louder.
Why stop there? Let's throw them a full barbecue, extra rockets included.
Boys, this is the moment we write history. All tanks full speed ahead. Assault the Ordo Mentatum headquarters. Drive straight through them. Don't stop for anything. I apologize for the slightly abrupt entrance, but I am looking for your leader. I believe he calls himself Primus. Where can I find him?
Not receive visitors, especially armed ones.
Then perhaps he will make an exception today. I must admit, brother, your acts of bravery are quite impressive, especially for a man carrying technology stolen from the future. You levitate, ordinary weapons cannot kill you. It does create a certain advantage. Now you finally have the chance to fight for yourself, if you truly want to. The spears of Oris are different. Their crystals can take the life of either one of us, regardless of technology. So tell me, did you come here to surrender? On the contrary, I came here to kill you myself, and finally end this absurd war. Syria will remain president of this planet. I desire nothing more than peace. I only want my mother to belong to me alone, not to some wanderer emerging from the darkness of time. Your timeline is a failure. Then let the duel decide. And remember, one strike from these spears is fatal. Give him a spear, and one for me.
Is that all you've got? You're too slow! Let's finish this! Break! Too slow. It ends here. Not yet. Your reign ends here! Not today. Yield! Not today!
All of you run now.
This is strange. What happened here defies the known laws of physics. Can someone give me a spectrographic analysis immediately? What is its composition? Is there silicon present?
No known chemical signature matches it. The element is unidentified. It appears to originate from outside our universe.
Incredible. The energy output is enormous. What happens if we touch it?
That is not advisable. Its temperature is rising exponentially. The core is becoming unstable. It could explode at any moment.
Tonight! You came as strangers. But no leave as legends. Lights like fire across the sky. 10,000 voices breathing loud. Every dream that learned to fly found a home inside this crowd. We were broken, we were small, we were names they never knew. Now the stars can hear us all. Now the night belongs to you, and the gates are opening wide. Step through with me tonight. Welcome to Imperium. Hey, we were born to rule the sun. Hey, hands up high, let the whole world know. We are fire, we won't burn. Welcome to Imperium. When I say welcome, Imperium. Welcome, Imperium. Louder! Imperium. Imperium. Welcome to Imperium. Hey, hey, we were born to rule the sun. Hey, hey, raise your hands, let the old walls fall. Tonight we rise above it all. Welcome to Imperium. Imperium. Imperium.